Hello, I'm Bob the Barber, and this is Vintage Card Minute. Today I'm going to talk about a very obscure, little known set that was put out in 1982 by the Kmart Corporation. For those of you who don't know, Kmart was a legendary department store back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. I shopped at Kmart a lot. There was a lot of them by my house. Well, anyway, in honor of Kmart's 20-year anniversary, they collaborated with the Topps Company and they put out a set that commemorated 20 years of MVPs. And my friend Dave gave me a set of these. And little did I know when I cracked it open, it still had the gum from 1982. And of course, being the great dad that I am, I let both my kids try a piece of it. Griffin thought it was absolutely horrible. What did you think?
It's good.
Warren actually thought it was good. Everybody should feed their kid 44-year-old gum. But anyway, Warren is going to give me an American League MVP quiz. He's going to name every year from 1962 to 1981, and I have to name the player, the card, and I have to give at least one interesting fact about either the card or the player. And to ensure that I'm not cheating, I'm going to blindfold myself. All right, Warren, whenever you're ready to start, just give me the year and I'll give you the rest.
1972.
1972 Topps Dick Allen. Dick was an infielder for the Philadelphia Phillies and the White Sox, and I believe two other teams. Interesting fact about Dick, he was a victim of racism when he first got to the Phillies in 1964, and fans would throw very hard objects at him. So there were times when he was in the infield, when he would be wearing his batting helmet.
1964.
1964 Topps Brooks Robinson, a true gentleman of baseball. They called him the human vacuum cleaner. He played third base like no other. An interesting thing about him is in 23 years, he was never ejected from a baseball game.
1962.
1962, that would be Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle was, his name speaks for itself. He was a New York Yankee from 1951 to 1968. Interesting thing about him, this is of course the 1962 Topps Mickey Mantle card. When he first came up for the majors, he wore number 6. He went back down to the minors, and when he came up, he changed numbers to number 7, which is his legendary number that he wore his whole career.
1965.
1965 is a little-known shortstop for the Minnesota Twins named Zoilo Versailles. His career was cut short because of eye problems. Unfortunately, he died at a young age of 55. The distinct thing about him is he was the first Latin American player to win the MVP.
1966.
1966, Frank Robinson, outfielder. This is a 1966 Topps baseball card of Frank Robinson. An interesting thing about him, he was a player and a manager. I know for a fact that he managed the Cleveland Indians back in 1975, and I think he managed a couple other places too. He won an MVP in both leagues. He won one for the Orioles, and he also won one in 1961 for the Cincinnati Reds, and he is the only player to win an MVP in both leagues.
1975.
1975, Fred Lynn. He was a Boston Red Sox. The one thing I'm going to tell you about this card is not a true card. Topps produced this card for this set, but in the actual 1975 Topps baseball set, Fred Lynn is one picture amongst 4 in a multiplayer card denoting rookies from that season. So this card in its form right here does not exist.
1976.
1976, Topps Thurman Munson. Thurman Munson was a legendary catcher for the New York Yankees. He unfortunately met a young fate. He was a pilot, and he was from Canton, Ohio, very close to where I grew up, and he was practicing landings at the Akron Canton Regional Airport in North Canton, Ohio, and his plane crashed. And in honor of him, his locker sat empty from that time until 2008.
1977.
1977 is Rod Carew, Minnesota Twins. This is the Topps card of Rod Carew. I bet you that he is the only player born on a train in the Panama Canal Zone.
1968.
1968 Topps pitcher Denny McLain for the Detroit Tigers. He got the MVP because in 1968 he won 30 games that year, which is a feat has not been done ever since. And the way they pull pitchers early in the game, 30 games will probably never be done ever again. Interesting thing about Denny McLain, he was so addicted to Pepsi Cola that he actually, his teammates said he would drink up to 24 bottles a day. Caffeine much?
1973.
1973 Topps Reggie Jackson. Mr. October. He played for the Oakland A's, he played for the New York Yankees, and he played for the California Angels. Two things about Reggie. He was so popular in New York that they named a candy bar after him, the Reggie Bar. They actually were pretty good. And number two, he was in the movie The Naked Gun. I must kill the queen. I must kill the queen. Next. How am I doing?
Good.
All right.
1970.
1970, John Boog Powell. He was a first baseman for the Baltimore Orioles. He was another one of those true gentlemen. He never had confrontations with the umpires, is one thing he's known for. And he has a barbecue stand at Camden Yards where the Baltimore Orioles play to this day.
1969.
1969, that is infielder Harmon Killebrew, Hall of Famer. He played for the Minnesota Twins, and before that, they were the Washington Senators. He played for them in both places. Harmon Killebrew had a soft, easy personality. He said one of his hobbies one time was washing the dishes, but yet his nickname was The Killer because of the way he bat.
1978.
1978 Topps Jim Rice. Back in 1983, there was a little boy that got hit by a line drive. He was 4 years old. The EMTs were not getting to him quickly enough, so Jim Rice actually grabbed the little boy, carried him, getting this boy was bleeding profusely from his head. He grabs the kid. He runs him all the way to the Boston dugout where he could get immediate medical attention. Jim Rice is credited with saving that little boy's life. You better not be making faces at me, kid.
I'm not.
Okay.
1979.
1979 Topps Don Baylor. Don Baylor was an outfielder and a designated hitter for about 4 different teams. Interesting thing about some things about Don Baylor. He was built like a tank. He actually turned down a scholarship to play for the Texas Longhorns in football. So he was a big man of muscles. And he was known for crowding the plate, for standing really close to the plate. He was hit by 267 pitches. Now, Don was so big that his teammates said that when he got hit by a pitch, they actually felt bad for the ball.
1980.
1980 Topps George Brett. George Brett is a legendary Hall of Famer. And a couple things about George Brett. His brother Ken Brett pitched for 10 years in the major leagues. And I believe it was back in 1982, there was what's called the pine tar incident. Players used to put pine tar on the handle of their bats. It was so they could get better grip. Now, you were only allowed to go a certain amount of inches up the bat. Well, Billy Martin, the manager for the Yankees, protested George's bat and said that he had too much pine tar going up too far. So the umpire measured it, and they ruled it an out. instead of a home run. And George Brett went berserk. He went charging out of that mound. You should watch the video sometime. I mean, had it not been for his teammates, I think he would have killed that umpire.
1981.
1981, Raleigh Fingers, pitcher, known for his handlebar mustache. That was his signature. Now, interestingly, in his 1969 and 1970 photos, he does not, I think it's also 1971, he does not have his mustache yet, but it came to be his trademark. He always wore this cool handlebar mustache. Now, after he retired, he received an offer to pitch for the New York Yankees. But the thing about the Yankees was, I believe to this day, you're not allowed to have any facial hair in New York. And so he would have had to cut his handlebar mustache in order to be with the Yankees organization. And he said, absolutely not. I'll just stay retired.
1963.
1963, tops Elston Howard, legendary catcher for the New York Yankees. He was actually Yogi Berra's successor with the Yankees. Two things about Elston. Three things. His number 32 is retired by the New York Yankees. He was the first African American player to play for the Yankees, and he was the first African American player to win the MVP.
1967.
1967, tops baseball, Carl Yastrzemski. Carl Yastrzemski was a longtime Boston Red Sox. He was part of the pennant-winning 1975 team that lost to the Cincinnati Reds, despite Carlton Fisk's walk-off homer. Interesting thing about Yaz, and I'll give a shout-out to my buddy Steve Bright, he turned down a scholarship to Notre Dame to play football in order to pursue his baseball career.
1971.
1971, tops Vida Blue. Vida was a left-handed 100-mile-an-hour hurler who just knew how to bring it. One thing about him is that he wore his first name on the back of his jersey, Vida.
1974.
1974, tops baseball, Jeff Burroughs. I don't know a whole lot about Jeff. I did look up some stuff. One thing about this set is 1974 is the first set where Topps did not release their cards in series. All 660 cards were released at one time, and that was the first time in baseball cards that Topps had done this. One thing about Jeff Burroughs is that on the 4 years he played for the Atlanta Braves, he had specially made his Atlanta on the front of his jersey was written in lowercase. And I don't know why he did it, but it was something that was just odd about it. But that's the only thing I can really tell you about Jeff Burroughs, other than he was a Texas Ranger. Is that it?
Hmm?
How'd I do?
Good.
Did I get 20 out of 20?
Yeah.
All right, you didn't do anything funny or...
No, I didn't.
Because I'm going to watch this video.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to know.
Sure.
You're busted, kid. All right?
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
Well, I want to thank you for helping me out with my video. I want you to know that I love you. And I appreciate you. And I want to thank all of you for watching. I want to thank the people that like my videos. If I put it on Facebook, don't push like on Facebook. Push like on the video. Leave a comment. Push subscribe. I got like 106 subscribers. Things are going great. Loving doing my videos. Anyway, we will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in.